Semen retention is the counterintuitive habit that flips the entire dynamic of attraction. In a world where men chase validation, pleasure, and attention, the one who stops chasing suddenly becomes magnetic. Modern society trains men to believe that pursuit equals power, that constant indulgence proves masculinity, but the truth is the opposite. Every time a man releases his life force recklessly, he weakens his presence, drains his focus, and dulls his inner glow. Semen is not just fluid, it's the essence of creation, filled with minerals, hormones, and energy that fuel drive, confidence, and charisma. When a man retains, his body and mind recharge, his testosterone stabilizes, and his aura thickens with invisible strength. His eyes sharpen, his posture straightens, his words slow down. Women feel it instantly. Even if they can't explain it, they sense stability, mystery, and dominance without a word being spoken. While other men chase them out of emptiness, the man who retains walks with fullness. He doesn't seek validation because his energy already validates him. That's the paradox. By not pursuing, he becomes the one worth pursuing. This discipline creates an energy field that silently communicates power, control, and abundance. A woman's instincts are drawn to that signal because it represents what's rare in today's world: direction and self. The man who retains is no longer restless. He's rooted. He radiates calm confidence, not neediness. His focus shifts from chasing women to chasing purpose, and that shift makes him irresistible. She begins to think about him, to crave his attention, not because he withholds it as a tactic, but because she feels elevated in his presence. His energy doesn't leak at match. Retention transforms lust into creativity, desire into ambition, and attraction into resonance. The man who controls his seed controls his destiny, and the woman feels that truth in her bones. She pursues not for validation, but for connection to his power. That's the hidden law of energy. When a man masters his pleasure, he becomes the source of it. When he stops chasing her body, she starts chasing his soul. In his second year of college, Arov was like every other guy on campus, restless, distracted, and always chasing something. Chasing grades, chasing status, chasing girls who didn't even remember his name the next day. His days started with caffeine and ended with dopamine hits from his phone. Somewhere along the way, he stopped feeling like himself. His energy was low, his focus scattered, his motivation inconsistent. Deep down, he knew he wasn't weak, he was simply drained. One night, scrolling through videos, half out of boredom, Arov stumbled upon a clip talking about semen retention. The speaker wasn't preaching religion or abstinence. He spoke about energy, confidence, and masculine control. Arov smirked at first. It sounded ridiculous. But something about it stayed in his mind. He thought about how tired he always felt, how much of his time was spent chasing temporary highs. So, almost as a joke, he decided to try it for a week. The first few days were tortured. His urges screamed louder than his conscience. Every instinct told him to give in, to go back to comfort. But as he pushed through the resistance, something unexpected happened. His mind became clearer. He started waking up with purpose. His eyes felt sharper. He no longer scrolled endlessly through social media. He began lifting weights again, studying with focus, walking with a quiet confidence he hadn't felt in years. In the cafeteria, people noticed subtle changes. His friends joked that he was glowing. He laughed it off, but he knew something real was shifting. He wasn't seeking attention anymore. Attention was finding him. Even in classes, when he raised his hand to speak, his voice carried a depth it didn't before. Calm, certain, composed. And then there was Ria, one of the most confident girls in his department. She was used to men chasing her, trying too hard to impress her. But Arov didn't. He greeted her politely, smiled sometimes, but never lingered. He didn't flirt or overcompliment. He seemed content in his own world. That intrigued her. At first, she tried to get his attention subtly, sitting near him in the library, asking about assignments, even joining the same study group. Arov noticed, but he didn't react. He wasn't cold. He was simply present. He listened deeply, spoke little, and left conversations without hesitation. The mystery drove her crazy. She'd lie awake wondering why he didn't seem affected by her charm when everyone else was. Weeks passed. Arav's retention streak had become a lifestyle. He realized his energy wasn't meant to be wasted in momentary pleasure. It was meant to build something greater: focus, ambition, and peace. His interactions with women changed too. Instead of chasing them, he started to see them. Their energy, their emotion, their intention. That awareness gave him control. He wasn't led by impulse anymore. He was guided by purpose. During a college fest, Ria finally confronted him. "You're different lately," she said, half smiling. "You don't even try to talk to me like other guys do. Are you avoiding me?" Arov looked at her calmly. "No," he said. I'm just focused on different things right now." His tone wasn't defensive. It was sincere, unbothered. That answer hit her deeper than any flirtation could. It wasn't arrogance. It was self-mastery. Over time, the dynamic flipped. She started initiating texts, inviting him out, looking for excuses to spend time with him. The more composed he stayed, the more curious she became. For the first time, she was the one pursuing. Not because he played games, but because he carried an energy she couldn't find anywhere else. Grounded, mysterious, Arov wasn't doing it for her. He had discovered something bigger, his own potential. His energy turned into motivation. His retention became fuel for creativity. He began a side project designing productivity tools for students. His professors noticed his focus. His friends began asking how he stayed so disciplined. What started as a personal experiment had turned into transformation. Months later, on a quiet evening by the campus lake, Ria finally told him, "You've changed the way I look at men. You're not chasing anyone, but people can't help being drawn to you." Arov smiled. "I just stopped chasing what drains me," he replied. That night, walking back to his dorm, Arov realized the real power of retention was in denying desire. It was in mastering it. By choosing control over impulse, he'd unlocked a calm, radiant energy that spoke louder than words. He didn't need to impress anyone anymore. His presence did the talking. By the end of the semester, his grades improved, his project got funded, and ironically, he'd become one of the most sought-after guys on campus. But this time, he wasn't chasing approval, he was choosing alignment. Arov understood now. Attraction isn't about pursuit, it's about power. The kind of power that comes from within, silent, stable, and full. He had learned the truth the hard way: when you stop giving your energy away to every passing desire, you become the man everyone desires. The modern man often finds himself caught in a paradox. The harder he tries to gain approval and chase romantic validation, the more elusive it becomes. Contemporary dating advice frequently emphasizes external factors, style, wealth, and status, yet consistently overlooks the profound internal shift required for genuine, magnetic attraction. This is where the counterintuitive practice of semen retention enters the conversation, not as a mystical ritual, but as a practical, potent self-mastery hack. By intentionally conserving and redirecting his vital creative energy, a man can fundamentally alter his psychological state, moving from a position of lack and neediness to one of inherent self-sufficiency and powerful presence, ultimately becoming the one who is pursued. The core mechanism behind this transformation lies in the principle of transmutation, a concept rooted in ancient Taoist and yogic traditions now finding relevance in modern self-optimization circles. When a man consistently drains his creative energy through instant gratification, his body and mind signal mission accomplished, leading to a subsequent crash in motivation, focus, and drive, often referred to as a dopamine crash or ego depletion. Conversely, when this vital life force is retained, the body is compelled to channel the resulting intense energy upwards and outwards. This conserved energy is transmuted into higher forms of expression, creative output, intellectual vigor, and relentless industriousness. The man's focus shifts from chasing fleeting external pleasure to tackling challenging, long-term goals, effectively rewiring his reward system to crave true achievement over instant gratification. The most observable benefit of this conserved energy is the development of unshakable confidence and steady presence. Fragile confidence is dependent on external approval. True confidence is knowing you can conquer your deepest, most primal biological urges. This internal victory imbues a man with an innate sense of self-control that radiates outwardly. He develops a calm, non-reactive demeanor, and his gaze becomes steady and direct. Women, on a primal level, are drawn to this stability. It signals that he is a man who controls himself and his environment, providing a rock-like sense of security and certainty that is highly valued in an unpredictable world. His presence is no longer anxious or eager to please. It is simply there, powerful and self-contained. Furthermore, the focused energy resulting from this practice establishes the magnetic aura of purpose. Attraction is fundamentally linked to a man's mission and his perceived high status. When a man is constantly dissipating his energy, he often struggles with brain fog, procrastination, and scattered attention. Retention acts like a laser beam, focusing his entire being onto his life's work. He stops seeing his vital energy as something to waste and starts viewing it as a valuable resource to invest in his goals. This dedicated pursuit of purpose, be it building a business, excelling in a career, or mastering a skill, is the ultimate high-status signal. Women are instinctively drawn to the driving ambition and relentless work ethic that this focused energy supplies. Realizing they are dealing with a man of substance who is building something meaningful, This internal reconstruction directly addresses the debilitating problem of neediness. A man who desos operates from a position of lack, desperately seeking external validation to fill an internal void. This neediness is the single greatest repellent in human interaction. The man who practices semen retention, by contrast, operates from a state of internal abundance and wholeness. He is not looking to women to give him energy or purpose. He has it in abundance and is looking for a partner to share it with. This radical shift from needing her to choosing her flips the dynamic entirely. He becomes non-reactive to typical relational games and tests, remaining grounded in his mission. Consequently, she realizes she is not dealing with a boy looking for validation, but a man who must be qualified for his time, attention, and energy. In conclusion, semen retention is not a superficial trick. It is a profound catalyst for accelerated masculine self-development. By harnessing and transmuting his vital creative force, a man transforms into his highest potential, self-disciplined, focused, and purposeful. These characteristics, born from internal mastery, create an authentic, magnetic presence that speaks louder than any words or possessions. The counterintuitive habit works not because of any magic, but because it is the most direct route to conquering oneself. And when a man is in full command of his own power, he naturally stops chasing, and in that vacuum of neediness, he becomes irresistible, causing her to initiate the pursuit. Before we conclude, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and do not forget to drop your location in the comments. I'd love to know where you are watching from. And if you ever have any questions, join our Telegram channel, where we interact directly and help each other grow. The link is in the description.